Okay, looks like we should be back alive again. I'll have to stitch this one together for YouTube, that'll be irritating. But anyway, I don't know what went wrong there. Seems like we're back. Okay, so, ooh, I like the move to a smaller green. Like, varying green sizes is something I've really wanted to do a little bit more. I also like that you haven't put a bunker back here, but instead of kind of left the depression. And that's a nice little bit of variety. I would love for this front pin. I like this slope. I'd love for this slope to come back towards a bit more. Just like really dropping front. That way, kind of, if you're playing that pitch in and you go beyond that spine, you've got a really treacherous putt. But you've got a really good chance of making birdie. I mean, usual thing, the planting looks really good. I like that every hole is kind of in its own environment, but you see others as well. I think this one just calls for a driver and like flop up. I might have liked to see a bit more pressure on the drive there. Feels a little like a no-brainer of a tee shot. So I think you can just hopefully... Oh, I didn't quite get there. Thought that would bounce on just a touch more. Yeah, I think the tee shot there was... maybe if we'd split the fairway or really pinched it or something to make us think. Oh, thank you, Wayne. Oh, and we keep going. I mean, I'm sorry to your guys who are probably going to have to watch this again. Sorry, dealing with a cold. Do you like these little bumps? One thing that is a little bit of personal preference, but I would like to see this slope here smoothed out. I kind of think if you're running... Well, exactly. If you're running off here, it works really nicely because you're running people off into fairway, and that, to me, feels fair. I've never liked dunking people off a green into rough. Or have this little mound kind of come so that's feeding out of the edge of the green and into the bunker. But just like that little run off there, I might try to sort. I do like the funky slope at the back, and that you haven't smoothed it out. This is the sort of thing that on previous courses you might have smoothed out a little more than you have done this one. As ever, just lovely little setting. Stay. Yeah, good on you. More of that. That's an awful putt line. I like the use of the rocks and like the rugged little area behind it. I think you could have even dialed that up further. Ooh, okay. This is Matt's favourite template. So we've got a little prize dog leg, so cut off as much as you can chew. But normally, whereas it's just like when you do this, I think it tends to be just there's a green at the end of it. Here, I think you're really rewarded for cutting off more of it because you get a much better angle to the green. Well, yeah, but you're better than I am, so that's okay. I mean, I've taken it sort of over the corner. And then, yeah, if you bail out, you've got all sloping away from you, taking it over these two bunkers. But there are those little helper slopes here that can turn like an average shot into a great one. Here, and then if we go too far, we're going to... Exactly. Good. Hopefully that little slope brings it back a touch. Yeah. Kind of as designed. There we go, we got a birdie. Taken a while. And now we have another Matt's prize dog leg. But this time going left. Can we play onto this green? Kind of want to. We've got to find out, surely. Oh no, I don't think you can. No, this was a bad decision. This was a very bad decision. I'm also, for some reason, not packing a 4-iron. We had to test it. Again, the sculpting in front of the green is more bold than we tend to see from Matt, which I like. Did you not? I'm still convinced it's probably doable if you're able to hit a better shot than I can. I'm just trying to work out. See, this green, normally I would say that like this amount of red slope is probably too much. Like I have a kind of rough mental rule of over 3 squares and it's too much. But actually, given the size of green and the length of shot you're asking for, we're basically saying if you're not really pushing it all the way right back there, you're going to end up right down the front, which I think works. So I think it's one of those where, yeah, it might be like breaking not a rule, but like what we might typically do. Oh, don't get 96. It seems to have gone okay. Far right pin is the best. I can see that one being fun. All very, as I would expect so far, nice and homogeneous, makes sense, plays well. Okay, I think one little critique I would have is, and I apologise because I think I helped you with this hole, I do think you've pulled the same trick off the par 5 tee twice on the front 9, where it's basically play as close to one bunker on this side to avoid the gamba going to the left. Which, it's an... Hey Pufty. It's an absolutely great strategy, it's just maybe I'd vary it on a par 5 again. Oh, that's not going to help us. It was already a 3-shot par 5. I tell you what, from a long way away, I do love the way that green is sitting. I think that's beautiful. Okay, so now these 2 bunkers come right into play. Because I don't know if I can carry those. Or the bunker lip here. Again, probably lower this little bit of sand. Buddy, it's good to see you. It's been a long time. I'm very excited to see your course. Also love about this green that we really want to be as far this side as we possibly can and as far down as we possibly can. So it really just rewards distance. Whereas if I lay up and chicken out and I'm way down here, I've got some shot of getting it close, but it's not easy. We're going to give it a go. If we end up in those bunkers, so be it. Hooray! I think I'd have almost liked to see you make this green even narrower. I think just really pushing it would have been great. Still, I think we've got... Because I feel like I've got a shot, whereas I'd almost want... I know this is a kind of a very Ben attitude, but I'd kind of want to be you to be absolutely screwed if you miss up, if the further back you end up, rather than having that little bailout shot that I think I've got with this back slope. and like you absolutely have to nail your wedge shot. So that one would have been okay regardless, I think. Terrible putting stroke. That's a really good hole. And the third par 3 of the front 9. What was the distance? So I know I hit 5 iron into 1. I hit 9 iron into the second. 5 iron into whatever the next par 3 was. 5 maybe? So this works well. And a little bit more like enjoying these little gentle half tiers. I think those work really nicely. Just that little one there. Really like this green side and how it kind of comes out of the hillside. That front bunker makes it really good. I think. Yep. Ah, it's just missing left, isn't it? Cool. 2 under for the front 9. So like, but I don't think it's weirdly. I just hit a little bit of a zone with Dayupa, and ended up shooting really well. This is a huge green. I think you could have shrunk this one a bit, personally. Although it's quite a long hole. Bunkerless though. If you play up here, you're more coming in over the water. Again, I think you can just. I'd like to see you exaggerate the angles even more. Like, I think the plays are all there. Just needs really pushing all the way. Because I've hit what I feel like is an average / automatic drive, and I'd like to be like taking on a hazard even more than I have to here. Let's go. I can just go sand wedge. Yeah, the fast was always the miss. Yeah, I do remember you saying you were struggling with it. But that's where I think the idea is good. It's just like make that green go properly. Let's just zoom out and where are we? But I mean, you've got it where you want it. So in that you've got high side, low side. You're encouraging people to go low side. I'd almost just like you could cape it out a bit more, cut the water in a little bit more in front. Just something to really take off. Like if you played at this half of the fairway, you are definitely coming over water. Yeah, it's a solid connecting hole for sure. Okay, this one is pure narrows, and just like, do we feel we can hit that bit of fairway? And then a really cool green site. Your green sites here are some of the best we've had in a while on a mat course. Hey, we hit a good tee shot. Yeah. But I think you definitely have focused on the golf more, and like actually the greens are really good. I feel the greens have more thought gone into them than some of the previous courses. I mean, obviously some of the previous courses have been the 2K ones, which, yeah, are definitely gonna be like require a little less. Ah, the volcano hole. I remember this one. This is pure just hit a good shot, isn't it? And I think we've got the right pin for this. This is nasty. Okay. Try and take advantage of the backstop. Just, we don't miss the green, obviously. Oh, we might miss the green. Oh no, there we go. We're okay. That is a nasty, nasty slope. But this works, I think. Again, I would still like it if we're not just dropping people off the green into heavy rough. So, like, if you basically, if your putt wobbles to this corner, that it doesn't just go, because I think that can understandably leave people feeling a bit sour. But we could flatten this bit, and like all the slopes on the green are good. This, I mean, the view from up here is really cool. Love that hole we're looking down there. Which I think, have we already played, or is that next up? I think that might be next up. Excellent. Then that's a lovely sneaky view at that hole. Yeah, I really like this kind of denser planting you've got under here as well. I think that's been what we've needed a little bit of, just like, oh god, that's jumped on me. The controller does the occasional thing where it just doesn't really respond or register a response. Yeah, we're going to make a double on your stupid volcano hole. Yeah, I think that kind of breaks up the open vibes, and just going into its own little, like, playing up into a corner is quite a nice way of doing it. 100% an Ernie. Ooh. Okay, this fairway goes a little bit bumpy. I mean, I do feel we've seen this tee shot before. We've basically had the Matt Prize Dog Leg sort of template look on those two back-to-back flipped par fours. That planting in front of me looks outstanding. I love this green site. Lob wedge in. Bunkers stack really nicely. Go on, be good. Oh, I didn't need to downloft it at all. That's an annoying par. I feel like we could have done better. Again, the green there's good. It had to be precise. Still annoyed at that double. Let's just see a sec. Just, this view feels a little empty to me. I'm trying to work out what we could have brought in a bit more. I think you're kind of guided by this view. And I don't think you wanted to disrupt that space. Mute myself because I'm coughing all over the place. Yeah, I don't know, like one tree here, or like planting out here a little bit. A little, but love the view of the mountains. Yeah, the tree line and the bunkers is a little unfortunate. There's not much you can do there. But it's still a good looking tee shot. A good little series of holes. I remember liking this green site when you showed me as well. Would love to see this bunker just a bit more, so like dropping this bit of land. Green's great. Yeah, really like this. These little mounds that you've been throwing on the greens have made a real difference. Because I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think you've done those anywhere near as much on previous projects. Oh, I don't want to go long. See, because also, like, the little tier you've got in the middle, and the fact that if I end up on that middle tier and putting down, like, you've done this stuff before, but it's not been quite as well considered. In that I think it works a lot better with the course. Ah, I've gone too long. Bollocks. Yeah, I'd agree with that. It is really enjoyable. Well, this is the part I didn't want. And I like that that mound is influencing more this way as well. I think here. God, just make it over. I'm okay with that. Oh, I stopped shorter than I thought it would do. Alright, long par 3. King of fun, quirky golf. Are you referring to JC? What the hell is this green? I really like it, but it's mental. Yeah, I can imagine. This is very unmat, and I love it. I'm here for it. It's not my best shot, but we might get away with it. Oh, not a good putt. I think actually it is, because of the green work you've done, it's one of your more exacting courses for approaches. Oh no, because I think that one encourages you to land it short. Ooh. That's a good pin on this green. I'm still not sure I'd ever not go for this. That might be in the bunker if it kicks. That's okay. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have a flat pin on a drive ball 4 as well. I think that one you could have really dropping off towards the back as well. But plays well. Can't say this one is doing as much for me as some of the previous holes. But I think a large part of that is lighting. You're fighting with... I mean, I think this hole gets the worst lighting on the course, doesn't it? And we're going way out this way. Strategically, it still works. Like, hit the inside corner. Oh. That might be a shot. Get down just a touch. I'm pretty happy with that. Oh, so this was where you needed me to go and check out something, wasn't it? There we go. nice to see you have a new idol. Alright. 36. Yeah? Definitely feel like this par 5 could have used a little something, just like this might have been one where I'm editing, trying to find like a unique feel for it. Because I feel like there's nothing that hole does that you haven't done better on other holes elsewhere. Whereas this green's really good, and the green side banked in, I like. I kind of wish I hadn't got this pin. Strikes me that the one thing I think you haven't really got on this hole, this course, that you could have used, and I might have seen on 17, is like a low green with a fairway a bit higher around it. So like here, much as I love this green, I can imagine it if you pushed it this way and kept the fairway high above it, like you can hit a lot more fun kind of careening shots in. Yeah. Well, no, yes and no. I mean, this one is at grade-ish here. Okay, maybe a touch up, but I can still bounce a shot in and run it on. It's more just like actually one where you're really encouraging people to run it on. I think would have added a bit of variety, and that might be where I'm looking at something like 17 and going, well, what haven't we done yet? See, I'm hoping. See, yeah, because you can bounce that on. That's not purely requiring like an aerial approach. So I don't. It's not a question of classic Ben. It's not a question of like it's only accepting aerial shots. It's more just like where we're positioning greens. And I think your eye naturally sees raised greens. That's a really nice course. I really enjoyed it. Not only is it like just technically obviously very good, I will say I don't think the bunker work is your best, but I think that's normal when you're trying something a little bit different. Like I don't think you quite. Well, it's also I don't think you're going for stereotypical Ross bunkers, even that they're slightly influenced by that. But like it's not going to be sculpting to the level of Dylan style Ross bunkers, for example. But I think you put your spin on them. Yeah, but I think like genuinely it did add something different to what the course normally would be, and I think yes, it's a mat course and it's very much is, but it's a different type of mat course that I really enjoyed. Greens, as mentioned, greens were awesome. Strategy is definitely there, and I know from chatting with you over a number of the holes as well, like that's stuff that you were really trying to incorporate with this one, and like ideal lines into greens, and I think that is much better here. I think you can push it even further. I would love to see you do that a bit more and just really exaggerate those angles so they feel a bit too punitive almost. Just like for video game golf. For real life golf, this is perfect. What else am I going to say? Yeah, there's that really good stretch of holes on the back nine. Framing, obviously beautiful. Planting really fits. It's not like... I wouldn't say it's properly like in your face, blow you away with planting, but one of those kind of environment courses where you just feel it's really immersive, you're just enjoying it. Yeah, great job, really enjoyed that. I'm going to cut the stream and then we are going to be right back with our second blue team course of the night. See you shortly.